Here we are back again, yet with another lovely episode. It is I, yours truly, the maniac, Tandolwetu Keith Nkonyana, and I'm here to bring you another lovely episode. This is a sit down and also a moment in which I did my utmost best to make sure that this man knows how special and also how grateful I am for him. He's such an impeccable human being whom, with every chance that I do get, I'll let him know how much impact that he's had on my life. The very first few moments, it felt like I was preaching, hey. It really did felt I had to give my all, but being grateful for what I am and also the many things that we have gone through with this man, I choose to remain grateful. Namaste.
Uzame uphoxa kahari ngoba ukushiye apha usame apha ndihambe in 2 years time mhlawumbe ngigqitha apha usame kulaa ndawo nandikushiye kuyo
Usathetha the same thing
ikhona icomment yakho beke nencanywa apha lithi ibele uba it's better yazi mfika phela bophila ngomzamo no ibakhona ifear but bophila ngomzamo noba usoloko xa ndigqitha apha every day okumele asoze achieve mos nenza achieve
nothing.
yeah
Because you're waiting.
Yeah, you mustn't wait.
You are not making things happen. You are waiting. You're waiting for that opportunity. You're waiting. It's like ulinde ngaphandle. Ulibala ba yonke leyo uyikhangelayo ngunayo. Unawo amandla yoba mawuyenze happen. Uyazoyikisela. And the man there's a ways ongafuna uzibuza is hard about yourself.
In denial. Ba mna umuntu nje nomoya.
Why ubani yena azofumana into ezithile ningazozifumana mna?
Yabona mna ndiqala phi ndaqala kuba ndibona ndihlale ndedwa ndihlale ndihlale ndedwa noma yabona okay kusona this is the reality. The reality checks. One thing I learned now, don't get in between.
Singena into zabantu. Awuyazi abantu bahlanganiswa yini. Suyingena. Izokuxaka.
Don't intervene because you'll get more problems.
Exactly. You weren't there when those people were meeting together.
Exactly.
You do not know the discussion. And I've also said this many instances. Tavura ukran khutman. Sure. Yeah. Sure, Tavur.
Okay, watch.
You see, what I always like to say is you must also give people opportunities to change their mind, especially when they have new information. People want you to be dead sure about a decision you made, yet now there's new information. You are sitting with information that can either impact whether this goes negatively or positively for you. As a person, when are you going to choose to stay? Knowing full well that now things are not the same as they were. Because now you're going to interfere into something that involves two people. At the end of the day, when those people reconcile, you end up being the fool, and it. But let's go look out for Leah. You must not play with fate. The Lord knows what He's doing. And sometimes as human beings, we need to stop interfering. We need to stop interfering into things that we don't even understand. Because instead, focus on what you can control, man. Focus on what you can. What can you control? It's your attitude. If you don't like something, start changing your attitude towards it. You don't like where you are, start doing something about it. Stop complaining. Nothing is gonna change through complaining. You just remain the same. You just become a vessel everywhere you go. Complaints. Doesn't help anyone. It also doesn't help you as well. Because we are develop a mindset, and next thing you spew this negativity onto everyone you meet. Won't now must listen to your complaints because life is not going accordingly to you. Now we go and check What operating system are they running? Are they still running that very same system that got them into the same place? You could find out now they're downgrading. They are not upgrading. There was these systems, because as the years go by, you don't tend to that garden. And when you don't tend to that garden, it becomes dirty. Becomes unproductive. Because I owe for years now. Now it's panic. Yeah, what's the use? It's not gonna get me anywhere. Some things they never change. I'll go on about that thing. You can take a horse to the water, but you can't force it to drink. So when success comes, people are gonna blame you and say, when you did not involve me.
Praise of you. I get a yoga, I go around your father, you try, you try to cheat. I get out of this guy, come there, go the coffee. It's time to face the facts of it. Now, and the time to be in Cocoles, take it or leave it.
Yeah. It's what you get, it's what you see.
Exactly.
I can't be any more than what I am. Oh,
because you're ready. We are as well.
Yeah, but some people are just predictable. Yabona kumnandi, man. When you are able to stop something because you already know your outcome is abanjan, because you already know abanyabandu, they bring drama and chaos wherever they go because of the state that they are. Obviously, a person who loves themselves is not always going to be chaotic in life in yako. Ufuna invite some sort of peace in their life and also bring a grace, man. You can't be that person, and next thing is just distraction all the way. That doesn't help anyone. Instead, it makes things worse. Now, Abandu end up tolerating you now. They're just tolerating you. And it's not good, man. You must be able as a person to check your own energy. Not leyo jonga ngaphandle. Kulula ujonga ngaphandle tami. Kulula nyana. What about wena? What are you giving off? How are people feeling because of you? Because some people are just energy vampires. Because now I've noticed the moment you get to be with them, what happens? Your energy starts draining. Bumba, you feel like you're being sucked.
I saw something that won't change. Yesterday, and it's still staying the same. I said, chaff, don't laugh, my friend. Yeah, I'm serious.
Your words came true. Because you predicted this for many years. You say you can go 10 years and live and people still have the same.
You still remember.
Yeah, it shocks you because Amaz are coming into reality. That's when I saw, but you see, your words are powerful as a person. They make your reality is created by first your thoughts, and then your thoughts come through your mouth. Then your mouth can manifest the world into reality. So the physical.
That is why I told you before I leave here. But if I come back or show you, then we have our own discussion. Just
yes.
Remember one thing. I told you I don't judge. I just observe.
Yes.
But you must observe what I told you. This is what is going on now still. Look, that cycle. I was born. Still. Still.
Ain't nothing changed. Kuvukwa nje kulalwa siphila ngabo.
Welcome yet again. We are back. It is I, yours truly, the Maniac, back with another lovely episode. It takes a lot for us, first of all, to acknowledge how far we've come. There's plenty that we could have been faced with that had come to damage us, but instead it came to teach us. It's important with each and every chance that you have to not forget how powerful you are. With the things that I knew, it didn't matter. What matters is what I did with them. This morning I heard something talking about knowledge is not power, but applied knowledge is power. How many of us have knowledge that they are exposed to each and every day, but they are not using that knowledge, applying that knowledge? In actual fact, it is your responsibility to see how far you could have gone should you have listened, should you have made the necessary steps. I understand that I do not get to where I am if I'm not humble. And you have to acknowledge the fact that you are not here only because of yourself. There are other people who are also contributing factors towards who you want to be. So in my presence, I have someone who is a father figure to me, a brother, as well as someone who I will consider a friend who has helped me throughout my concrete jungle journey. He has also been a pivotal part in helping me become very self-aware about not just about myself, but also what I'm surrounded by. The ways and also the means that he made was to make sure that I see life as realistically as possible, knowing full well that it all came from love and admiration. I tell a lot of people, and I've mentioned this on the podcast as well, that without his guidance, I don't think I am here. Without his open-mindedness, he was always teaching me from a place of, here is something to think about, not do this and things will be this kind of way. I understand also the Almighty knows what he's doing when he puts certain people in your life. And he's shown a lot of belief in me. And every opportunity that he does have, he will make sure that he lets me know. Words cannot even begin to describe how grateful I am for his presence and the mere fact that he still concerns himself about who concerns him. This is basically about loving who loves you and also being aware that not everyone is going to like you for who you are. Yazdamia, namhlanje, I had a thought, Ian Kalela, about when you start performing at your best, then you will irritate other people that don't want to perform at their best. But then, the one thing that I do not want to deprive the world of is my own greatness. And you're one of those people who always used to teach me that you have to umbone for what they also could potentially be, because each and every one of us have a story. Sure. We went through something, and all of these things that we went through eventually impacted us to the types of people that we are today. So me giving this opportunity and also understanding that everything has to have a start. Wherever you find yourself, and you are that person who is always empowering me about my own strength as well. One thing I have found is that people are too jealous about each other to even compliment one another. When a person does good, no one comes and tells you, because the amount of feeling and jubilance that you get when you are able to be told that, it means you want to do more and more of it. So you also opened my mindset towards the fact that doing good matters, first of all, to yourself, to those who love you, and also to those who don't even know you. Take away everything from a person. Are they going to remain the person that they were if all those things have been taken away? Because I've seen people treat you in the utmost disrespect. I understand why they would do that. It's because they are working from a place of lack. You always remind me of little knowledge is too dangerous. So no wonder they are moving that kind of way. So I'm quite thankful for the fact that we still have this sustainable relationship that is vice versa. You said that yesterday to me, that inner you give, I give. I get, you get. But the foundation, and I always admire and tell my friends about, respect the foundation of every relationship you have in your life. It's not about age, it's about mindset. If I didn't have a person who can make me think twice, such as yourself, there are many things that I wouldn't have grasped. So you must not take all the credit as a person, the same way that when you are in my company, you're also reminding me, yo, bruh, you mean a lot. And that is treasure for me. So much that I let the whole world know through what I am doing. So if you go through the podcast episodes, your name is always there. And other people. Not because I want to make you famous, it's because I want you to see how important you are. A person just doesn't dominate your thoughts. There must be a reason why that person is there. So I am quite grateful that up until this day, I can still treasure Lando Yohlala now and let you know of the beacon of hope that you are and continue to be. Me seeing that I was a person who saw you through a lot of things. I've seen how you matured. I've seen how some things started not to mean a lot to you and others mean a lot. And that is us as your kids. That is me included with my sisters and so on. But yeah, going back to that, little knowledge is too dangerous. That just set the ball rolling because judge. And that is what I have seen in a lot of people. That we judge things we don't understand. And once we continue to do what we are doing now, obviously it's going to piss people off. But I love pissing people off now because I get to be myself. I don't often see that. People are too scared to be themselves because they are afraid, who am I going to lose once I decide to be myself? It's a reminder, Oguti, the moment you start liking yourself, you also are reminding others who don't like themselves about the fact that they still don't like themselves. How can you get irritated as khuphukisa? Uzkhotha manxeba. You've been through the struggle as well. Uwile waphinde waphakama as a person. But you also understand, Oguti, I must not be the person that brings myself down because I've survived even worse. Vision, everything at one point that I thought was going to stop me from getting what I want, then I went over it and then I saw, hey, this thing is easy. And that's what I've seen with myself, is that I get to learn these things because I stick it through the ila phase yokuqala. So people must stop this thing of not wanting to be good. Zange wazalwa wazi yonke into, and the person that is excelling kulando, there's umsebenzi ungawuboniyo that person is doing. So a person sees the outside or they hear what they hear about you and they think they know. That tells me ukuthi we are self-judgmental. That person has been through a lot as well. But as an adult, I've started to value that because I have to pass this on eventually. What am I going to pass on? It must be something of value. Because now, even if the majority of abantu we're saying, but only respect a person, and then the majority of these young boys and young girls are going to take that attitude. And here you are, when as uzama uyibukisa ba yo bra, once ungena kezwe akwanohlala phansi ngoku nezilight. Because ngolwazi wazi yonke into. Zalwa ngoku lo mntu usanokhasa ngoku lo mntu. And iwesi ke elihlabathi sikulo ngoku intshaba zihleli nje zilindile. Ziyakulinda nje uba mawube weak. Benisitsho kumnganam ndithi bokuba bone xa kungahambi igrand zoba bazawuzama ngomqonqozo. Benisitsho kule weekend ba imagine Tameya i-vibe babi notshintsha basingabeka xa isibeka ibhotile apha. Bangapha abantu banongena kulo mnyango. Bangapha abantu banongqubeka apha. Nalowo ongaqhelanga ukubona yilawe bukhe wanivusa ngayo Tameya accessibility. Once bafumana nje la loophole, singenile. Now you become a prisoner of them. Next thing, they don't even need to come to you. This is a reminder, man. You need to be a captain of your soul. You need to ask yourself, what do you want for when? Not what others are expecting of you. What do you want when? And many people are rich, not in monetary, but in wisdom. I am hell-bent on bridging the gap, which is young people must stop thinking they know it all. We need to ask the people that have went through all of these things. Ain't nothing better than learning from the person who's been through it. So when you ask for fellowship and you ask for, can you please assist me? Can you be intentional now or reciprocate in age? Because I'm not going to like that someone comes to you, Tameya, younger than me and says they want guidance, and next thing they throw that guidance into your face. That is what we are living with. There are people who think because we are related to them, we have to do things for them. No, I don't owe you anything. I owe myself and those who are there for me. Because when days are dark, friends are few. Who are you going to talk to when the misery comes? My best friend is always reminding me of that, Titame. But you need someone to talk to. There must be that someone. When times are hard, you can be able to let go and be yourself. Not this bottling up thing. Because most men now think that not talking about it helps. It doesn't. It eats you inside. And next thing now, you are going to be controlled by that unresolved delegation amongst you. And I don't like that. When you are in pain, you need to admit you are in pain. Pain of whatever. Bring that pain to attention. We get nowhere as people if we don't first look at ourselves. Not someone else. Not what your next door neighbor. Look at yourself. That's who you have 100% control. Look at your life. There are things you could have done differently because every day I work on being present. Yesterday, we can't have it back. There are those who didn't even see today. And it's that gratitude you always remind me of, Rutman. But this is a day we'll never ever have a life in it. And all these words, we need to say it now. I said that to my friend, that you see the people that mean a lot, you need to let them know now. Even if iyabadika, bangelistefe and yonke lando, no, don't hold back, Sbad. Do not hold back because you do not know what tomorrow brings. The most painful thing for me are words left unsaid. This podcast is a journey of doing that, having those conversations that I've been having with myself, with other people as well. To say, please, can you pass on amava ako? Please, can you be able to bring a different perspective? It's not saying, Bana, your ways is the good way. No. It's about also respecting each and every person's intelligence. As piwanga ngohlobo lunye. That's the other thing I also admire about you, Guti. When you knew what you were good at and you stuck to it. That's why you say, Tibla, stick to what you know best. You don't end up becoming a fool when you are out there trying to do things that you know full well Guta uzaz. You have a majority of people like that. They don't want to be in a position where they abazi. You know nothing. Even that man who you might consider a fool has something to teach you. It's the same thing with the results that you don't want are also there to teach you. Okay, can I be able to handle rejection? Can I be able to juggle this? Because people, they judge too much. If we could put that energy of jumping to conclusions and divert that energy towards finding evidence, because that is what I'm also working on this year. When someone tells me something, I need to do a truth check about it. Is this the truth? Because you can't be affected by things that you know are so inyanli. Come on, is it because I saw you out? Because they're gonna meet people where their cracks are gonna show. And once those cracks show, now they become scared. Because now, neutral. You need to be neutral. Stop picking side as a person. Because the truth doesn't care, Tina, about what we feel about it. Is a snake. Our families are being torn apart because no one wants to sit down now and admit, I don't know it. Even the adults now, because that's the danger now we are in. Even the people goes back to that thing. Guide yourself. Kangela uhulumente that you can instill in yourself. What type of person would I like to be? What would that person that I would like to be doing now and start doing it? Did I have to go and get millions and millions of amount of money? No. People have money, but they are lonely. I'd rather be poor and with my family than be rich and alone.
It's painful.
Reality that endibonile that Tina most year to we I'm making sure guti siphumelela according to other people's version. Remember beske sathetha ngayo lento izolo bayi ubona umakhelwane ethenga lapha akhe uzathenga zibe2 ayimphumele awuyifuni lapha akhe cha inhliziyo yakho ke ayixolisi. But the tough things have to be said. Both sides funeke kumanyelwe. Both sides there has to be acknowledgement, but akho nix izawulunga if izinto zawuqhubekeka ngolu hlobo. Because I've never fought to be right. I've said this many times that I don't want to be right. In most cases I'm wrong. but I'm not afraid to admit it. Kaloku mangabe ku-stalemate, especially ke ngoku xa kuzothiwani when there should be unionship. That is how legacies are built. In unification, each and every person must know their role. So if I'm going to say cement, you're going to say sand, the other person is going to say stone, the other one is going to... Where you can be able to reach. 23 years ago was when? 2000. And things are still looking the same. The government inside the head has not been changed. Instead, it becomes worse. Toxic. Dogma. You need to clean that dogma. It's all that pain. Every time they experience that, I fuck cabinet. It's like that room we create, because I say the past is like the room that you used to live in. You can visit that room, but you don't live there. You live in the present now. That is why it's called the present. We live in the present. There's nothing wrong. You can visit it, but because I see it in them now. The same thing that happened to them 10 years ago, they are still bleeding it namhlanje because their hands are still dipped in the past. Usabambelele. You contemplating bakwathini ubani wakushiya ayizutshintsha nix. What about you? Something must be moved amongst wena as a person from obviously that time when you were born up until you decided, hey, no man, I must do things for the better now, because it's not gonna help that I don't help myself. Rodman, you taught me to help myself. I had to do it on my own. But you also placed a helping hand. You still are a helping hand. My next admiration is the fact that your family is still intact. There might be arguments there and there, but come festive season, everyone is in that house. Isn't it so? Whether ubani usuka from another province to another province, ipa. And I admire that a lot. It's not by force. Build a family in that kind of sense where each and every generation can be able to meet under one roof. Say, guys, this is what we are faced with, because the family objective and this is one of the reasons why I'm bent on not telling people what to do. I'm showing them now. That year of talking long time. Remember lanyaka sapanza zaphela apha sithethe into engapheli.
Yeah.
Talking until we were blue in our face. This was COVID-19. It's funny how things can change within a space of 3 years. 3 years. Chincha yonke izinto za upside down.
You can say that again, Nico.
Izinto zadilika.
Akubisa. Wasuthetha ngalona COVID-19 lonyaka.
Idincingo zakho zazinjani tameya ngela xesha?
Yabona ma since then. Into ezininzi. Yaba since then wafika la COVID. Akusekho njengokuqala. Into ezininzi zitshintshile mfethu. Kufike yona. Zonke into zisatshisa, keep on ziyachange every day. Ndibathela nqa abantu basameka indawo eyi-one.
And akho nozwelwano kuba ekuse ndilapho kule ndawo ngoku ngekuse man uthe ndingavakalelwa.
That is why mna ndincane uba faced up umntu kaniqala umxelela uba ekuba ufuna kubeka way forward maqala ubuvele i-peace of my mind. Lo mntu njena noba wena ungafuni undigqiba undibona bo lana ndithanda uthetha kuwe ndithi umntu ndibona ndisele utywala ngengomso sometimes andisathethi loo nto ndibhizi ngenye into mindset yam because umntu ndixela uba I must believe this guy because iyasela utywaleni mos loo nto leyo. Wena umntu ondiyaziyo ndidla ngohlala nawo ndithi ndi-appreciate mfethu nalo opportunity besikwazi uhlala besikwazi usherishelana into eziso so indipha amandla la wena yabo. Masithi nale ndikwazile uba ndithi ndisele phone ndafika ukhona sengicinga uhamba athi hamba ndiphindele endlini mna ndikela relax ndacinga ndiyabona ndizofika ndihlalela laa mntu uleleyo mna ndibe ndihleli ndichofana nefowuni zizandiwekhe zawena izandingenisa kwenye laa nto kawuphinde kuthi qaka yabo kusho ukuthi ngoku izandibulala yabo. But mandingawuvumeli lo moya opportunity endingifumanayo ukuthi mandikwazi ukubekho umndawo ukuthi umntu uzandiphilisa Maniqhubekeke because struggle asikapheli if sisafacene nayo. You can smile now, tomorrow you won't
Hey,
know what's gonna
usaphila
come.
bhuti, struggle asikapheli.
Sure.
And you always reminding me of how sometimes this roller coaster can go downhill. Uzibuze uba hey Tipla, uyakhumbula xa kufika impumelelo kubanjani? Kanye kube happy nje kancinci. Uba in doubt, uba like hey, ungonwabi kakhulu. Izinto zophinde ziwe kwangongongoku. That's how we were skeptic about izinto whenever things were fine. Like sayazi ke. Qha ke kukubulela na oko uba esi struggle sikhona. Because without the struggle, I don't think we can be able to have the amount of gratitude that we have towards life. Because there are people who have been battered and bruised, and yet they still see life with optimism. And that is what I get from when. And that person that you left a long time ago, and you decided to go to now, I'm no longer that person who's going to be entertaining as in. Bengazukwazi uyihandlisha land. Now I'm even the person that I was ngokuqala le podcast. The person I was 5 years ago bengazukwazi uyenza lento because umcabango wakhe bengekho pha. But now I'm just thankful ukuthi i-challenges ngoku I'm aware ukuthi ndizodibana nazo noba ndenza ntoni. But at the end of the day, I shouldn't let them decide ukuthi you are manifest ndiziyeke ezweni. That's why immediately xa zifika ezawe ingase xelele somebody man. Inbox utamia, inbox ulubabalo okanye ibhongo mchazele bra, I'm not feeling good man. Lahlelwa zezinto nasu nje that mere that ipower kwale bamandikwazi uyisharisha.
But it's not easy.
It's not.
It's hard even in you to just
because you are also contemplating by will I look weak, will I look like this, because people are so used to the person who's optimistic nento ezinjalo kanti balibala but that person is also a human being and emotions zakhe. Now ubethwa zinto zakhe la you cannot expect a person to remain optimist okokoko. Uyayibona la nto la power yokuba mandimchazele ke ngoku gives me that ability to do what to remind myself that I'm not alone. There are people that I can turn to the same way when they are in that debacle, they turn to me as well. So now I landed in Nigala ability. No, man. I'm vulnerable as well. I'm human as well. Then immediately I give into that. I tell yo, bro, this is how I'm feeling. This is how, and then give you a response here. Knowing full well it's gonna be an uplifting one. I did that last year as well. Ngoku City, I'm giving up on life. Then I saw people on e-comments and how they were. But that was me doing a test trial as well. But I was also going through a lot as well. At that time, I wasn't feeling good. But I was like, let me not keep this to myself. Since I am a person who's on social media, let me spread it out there. So a part of me was like, I wanted to see who's gonna be there for me, and also a part of me was like, I need to take this out. I can't keep it within me. So let me not give it any power. Let me send it out to the world. And then I got that consolation. I love that. It's not because it's desperate. That was not desperation for me, but I was going through a lot. So if my way of expression is putting it pan so that I can see if there are people that really matter to me. And you were the first person who jumped on that status. And other people that I don't often get to see, but they're admirers of the person that I am. And also the fact that they got to experience me. Someone out there is still trying to fight against the 2017 version of you while you are in 2023. They are not looking at what you have went through now, which is I quite understand that. Because I still have girls from high school who are like Luena, and one girl that is impossible. Because in engqondweni yabo kusahleli Thando wayidlala amacheri wayise high school. Ako existi an adult Thando. Uthando lo wahlelwe zezazinto wazibona ba hey, we are dealing with people's feelings up. Asidilishani ne popularity contest. Because I grew conscious, I became more compassionate. And in becoming more compassionate, it opens me up to the fact that what I give out, I'm going to get back.
Abantu badenial away A person can change. Don't stick to the person's past. It's not your concern, bro. You must look at the person closely, what the person is going now. Way forward. You can't check me from the past. You saw me the last time we went to school. Now you see me again. You keep that mindset. Hey, man, who said no? You must be grateful that person changed for the better. Not to make that person feel like,
your change is worthless.
Exactly. So I just want to view that point, bro. You can continue, bro.
Thank you very much for that. So I understood, Guti, that is not my part to play. Your opinion of me is not my business. But I just saw, Guti, how abanyabano they don't move with the times. They don't move with the times. Like zingapi izinto endizifundileyo from the time that I left school to now. That when you wouldn't even bother to go back to, because when uzokhangelisa evidence ezawusupporta le mindset yakho. Awuzukhangela enye evidence. Ngoku uyibonayo ngoku uyibekayo apha ebusweni. Character assassination. But siphila nazo tame ezo zinto man siphila nazo. And I'd rather be ndibe nolwazi ngayo ndizazi ba okay, a person who's doing this kind of thing, okay, ndimbona ba okay, what place they're coming from. Then mna ke ndibe ne-ability yoyihandlisha laa nto. How do I handle that kind of energy? Because ngoku I'm not disacknowledging anything, because la energy ndiyibalekayo ngamanye amaxesha ungafika ibiyi-opportunity yam yoyifunda uba ihandlishwa ngoluphi uhlobo. I'm not it. A lot of people bakhe bangijonga bathi, how do you talk nomntu othile? Like the same question bakubuza ngayo, uthetha njani uthando? Uthando uyathanda uthetha neento ezinjalo. Like inside your mind you're like, bruh, now uyathanda uthetha nje kuba ungathanda uthetha sonke siyathetha. Guys, just at yena akazange wafumana i-opportunity. Kaloku other people do not have access to the new you. That's why they are still judging you from the old you. Xa ingafumani access to lo umntu nguye ngoku omtsha, obviously uzozama udismantlisha lo umdala and project you from there. But then I had to, okay, it's not my business, but mandi-identify and then I move accordingly now. So impumelelo ayifani in people's eyes. Mna kudala ndiphumelele elifini yam. I don't need to be shown on TV. I don't need to have zonke as acknowledgement, because I've seen plenty of people that I met elifini yam who thrive on being told by others but they are good enough, and yet they don't tell themselves Lord. That's dangerous. And I remember something Bill Cosby said, I do not know what the formula to success is, but I do know the formula to unhappiness, and that is trying to please everybody. That's what came into my mind. People pleaser. Kusefethi yanifanele lewe. Kusewu cinga ntoni umntana ngam fethu. Kaloku anokwazi ubona ngolu hlobo. In my head kubaleka laa nto kuba this guy or this girl, you care too much about what people think about you. Confidence says, I do not care whether you like me. I already like myself. I don't need to be told, hey, I'm good. No, I already know I'm good because I am the person telling myself I'm good. One thing I love about human life, Tamir, is that the Lord embedded a gift in each and every one of us. And then was niga ngokubomi to go discover that gift. Part of us, we will never get to it, but a part of us will. And sometimes you could be doing your gift and you wouldn't even know it's your gift. Because you are not a man unless you make money. You are not a man unless you provide and all these things. And then we try to fit into what society tells us. Instead, landi iyasibulala. Because now asikwazi uhlala phansi ngoku and be reasonable. Because ungafika lo unemali ngoyena unganamacebe. Ngoyena unganamava. And I understand le nto abantu abafundileyo ngabona banengxaki. Unganam uthi usister wakho uyasela. Lo muntu ufundile nendoni. Omnye ngapha uthanda ifoni kodwa usandaba li-OLED. Kodwa xa nijonga abanye kukwabo bangagqibanga scale, abo bano-grade 12 nobani, but hey, ihlobo baliphatha ngalo ikhaya. Ubona umuntu uhlobo azithanda ngalo, uthanda ikhaya ngolaa hlobo. Because a reflection of who you are is a reflection of what you are surrounding yourself. How you treat yourself is how you treat others. Cha ke ngoku kuzorespektwa lo awufundileyo kuba yena imali yakhe iyamthethelela iba ne-decisions. ufike ngoyena ke yena ozisa i-distraction because ucimba imali yakhe izamthethele. There are places where your money can't get to. Olithi ndiyakhumbula grade 11 apha eNY3. Imali zakho neband zakho awuzungcwatywa nazo. Izawufuna umuntu mntanam naloo mali uba mawuphakame. Uzobe uhleli phaa, imali ihleli phaa, ifuna umuntu. Material is dangerous because iyaluzeka. You can lose material, but once you've lost a person, you've lost them forever. I cannot be able to expect the Almighty to make another you when you are already here. I need to give you your flowers while you're here. I need to let you know that I love you while you're here. Not even ngabanye abantu. Yeah, athi yayincane le grut man. Kodwa xa nihleli ndanda song unzima nothetha. What is it? We must not care about how our relationship looks to others. We must care about making sure that it's doing its function. We said we're going to build one another, and that is what we have devoted ourselves to doing. It's easy as it might not sound, but that is the devotion that we've put ourselves in. So I like my life to be a good example, because I know that time is not going to come back now. Oleti, Junior, Luanjika, everyone who's gone is not coming back now. I've waited so long for myself to say, now it's on you now. It's been on you. And if I have to drag them, I will. I'm going to drag each and every one of them. And that is through action. But I can't help them if I can help myself. That's why I have to wake up, meditate. Wake up, work out. Listen to motivation. Listen to affirmations. I'm careful, man. Who do I sit around? What conversations do I have? Because those things, they come back. When you buy yourself. And the first thing, it's just defeating thoughts. And that emphasis should be on you. And they point about amachita. And those who forced. You cannot force a person to love you. And uta ndongogo supposed to come naturally. Organic. Once it touches you, hey, what's that feeling? You cannot be able to explain it. But I'm not gonna be part of it. The hell band glondo. In high school, this is a headache. It disaster car ahead. And thank God, my disaster was the failure of my grade 10 years, so that so that nam ndizokwazi ujonge home situation yamba yo bra ufunde la wena man. Hey, 3 years yonke trying to please my mother, going to school so that I can have good grades. This person is not contributing. Like, this education is yours, brother. Because failure wants you to accept. That's the first thing. Accept. It happened. It had to happen. And if it doesn't happen, I'm not sitting up. We must be grateful for everything we go through, because some things they are sent to destroy us, but instead they empower us. Hey, muscles from Lord. I said to my friend, send me to the wolves. I'll come back leading the pack. So you must be careful when you are fighting men such as us, because Dina, we are fighting ourselves. We are not fighting nobody. And like you always say, don't make me a person I'm not.
Problem.
It's not nice. But at the end of the day, we are going to continue. And the time I've been yes, he still has opportunity to come through. But in the thank God that I was given the parents that I was given. In high school, this but why mama mizobanje? When you ask those questions, you don't get the answers os funai. because I was not asking the right questions at that time. Benganalwazi most about what happened previous. Because when you're a teenager, you think, well, that's dicks. That's why I see that danger when you're young, 14, 15. No matter usuka kwifamily usuke thina sikhule ungekho guidance up.
It is danger.
Yabo. Indlingane yathi.
Danger.
Which is danger. Yabona ngokumhlaba angakuthatha noba ngoluphi uhlobo. Anything can be able to grasp you, and it can ingakuwisa phansi. The amount of people I heard telling me, why am I going to school? What's the use?
As a bro, I noticed something. You see, the people they always mention to me, yeah, you must be grateful, you know. Akangibeka ukhulu papa nje khula under guidance ethama yakho. Manje siyeca uchiziwe ndandizicapkela banomsindi bandibona ichomi ezenza zechomi zami. Ndandifuna uleqa kwento ezifana. Whereas iparent yakho nefamily yakho bazama ukubonisa ba hey nanku life uso. That is why mina ndithi I'm grateful manje akwazi unceda abanye abantu because andivele ndiyithetha nabakubale ndiyithetha. Ndithetha kumuntu endiyaziyo ba ndithi xa ndigqiba ukuxelela lo kuqala yona andithi ithathe. Igcina apha kuwo uyisebenzisa. Uyibona iyakusebenza andithi ndibelieve. Just because it's like point solo part the point guidance mfethu ibalekile la ndawo. Is iqala up life with sometimes okay masenze umsebenzi sibabe ngihlala for wena. Shebo sithi akho guidance. I saw the opportunity that okay go where to mlo indoda. Situation ezinjeyana mfethu kuphina ngabe kho guidance. Itothi out yathanda ke bangoqala ukwenza into eziphume ecaleni. Sengiqomba man abantu abantu abangochera abazonibamhela masiskivele. So bathele nomuntu out official no uzaw understand at least uzoba nguye noba kwenzeka into ezithile ozoba ekwazi ukuthi no mina sendisazi ukuthi kwenzeka ntoni apha ecanga kwami. Jonga lezimsekelo ngawujonga wena. Izabanye ngokuba zenzile into zawo bonke umuntu ngoku wenza official usecured wena okunokwakho. You keep on going what you good at. You see? I will shift focus. Khona imini uqomba asuka man. Hey. As we so and each I like the fact that you mentioned the word. Yes, away niggas bekhona because ziyakuqinisa. Kazifikile ezibaqhungu ndanga. And the fact that ithona lo muntu successful iyaxoka akakha ayikho la ndawo bayikhe esa stage bekho wafika kuso sithi hayi yena I'm quit now. Hayi ndiyayeka ngoqomba hayi uthando bendine TV. Kumoshakele ikhompyutha ndikubukela ngalamini sasihlela bendiqonde ndiyamvela lo mthize ngamama une stress. Sisancosa jonge le bam enye. Ngomso ndiyabuya enye ayisebenzi. Mna. Yebo. Sindiyakubona ba awunike ixesha lakho uzenzele into zakho ndiphinde ngishiyo betho ngomoya because iyakwekha nawe ikubula la ngaphakathi into kuzamwe. That is when abantu ke ngoku betry uthini bevuya ngaphakathi. But ngithanda into eyi-one xa uwileyo uyaphinde uyaphakamisa zidastisha. Uyafestana. You look forward as much as bakunzima hayi nguye nobani nokwazi ukwenza lonto encinci into eachivileyo ivuyele mfethu unzima
because abanye bawishwa zezincane small things ulindele izinkulu zibawise ukuthi igqiyezi zincane
izilomjongo umuntu ziqoma ndim understand why bethwa into encinci kangaka manje manje bethwa izinto ezinkulu kangaka you see but knowledge akanayo ukhulu to give up because akana guidance yabo.
That power of guidance.
This power of guidance. And ke mna ndambona umuntu kayifuna unceda. And usiforce nje kuwe engaqondi yena yabo because sometimes you can try to help someone but
they must want the help.
Exactly.
They must want the help. You can take the horse to the water but you can't force it to drink.
Singathatha omnye umuntu ngokusutha sombeke up. Sit okay guys sit here or lady sit we talk like we're talking but usually you know when you sit with the people here maybe we're doing our thing. Now people start to be irritated. Hey, yadika lento bahlelo. Bona umnyezami lo. Yathi andiyabuya. Just because akayazi.
I can relate.
I like what you always mention that you don't need many people.
Only a few good
ones you can have. So thanks, bro, for that point. Just wanted to mention that point to you. You can continue, bro.
Yes, man. We as people are thriving on likeliness and attracting what we want in our life because part of also what I'm doing, Tamea, is I'm trying to make sure Guti, I'm focused on the things that I want to happen. And that is what I've seen, Guti. A majority of us, we don't get what we want because we are focused on what we don't want. And I ask myself, the 51 to 49% of my thinking, that is the scale, because it's only a 1% difference. The 51% of what a man thinks is what will determine him. So if 51% of your thinking is prosperity, then you have tipped the scale. We are not saying the 49% is not going to be disacknowledgement. Like you said, every now and then I will fall into that pattern. Why are we recording all these things? But it's a combination of zonke, I mean. Yeah, but the hard ones, ezinye zibe good, ezinye zingabikho mnandi, and it sometimes amazes me that I can be able to function in all these states and be able to see, hey, if it was someone else, I don't think they will be able to push through this, because I always try to encourage people to be available for their struggle, because their struggle is unique. You can advise a person with whatever, but we are not all seeing the same things at the same time, because we are not vibrating at all at the same frequency. So some of us are vibrating from a frequency of lack, others are vibrating from a frequency of abundance. And some of us, we need help to understand, you are vibrating low. That's why there are these things that keep on coming into your life. That thing you say, yeah. And then it brings more and more of it. And then next thing, you get all these types of people coming into your life, all these situations that you didn't even want in the first place. And you ask yourself, hey, what are these people doing in my life? Why do I feel so disrespected? Because trust me, your instinct is always telling you that, but yeah, we obviously have to move accordingly as people. And also the power of taking things one step at a time. One step at a time. This is what I'm gonna do. There are things that others don't even see. Only you can account for it. Because I tell my friends all the time, every Wednesday goes the episode again. Did you know every Wednesday, can you drop the episode? Kubako voice it. Don't drop that episode. Those man one kaze la kwabate bamincidi. Ngaphinda drop xa bengena ku Facebook wakho ba. Uphindile bawo. Bamincidi. Oyini.
Destroyers. They are always there. Wait for that weak moment of yours. Then they find that loophole. It destroy you this much, bro. If you're not watching out. But as long as you know what you're facing ahead, you can beat anything in front.
That's how powerful I also keep myself. What I am facing ahead of me, it's greater than anything. So these are all just loopholes. Loopholes that are supposed to be in the way. Things are supposed to be in your way. I don't think you get to the top without any friction.
Yeah.
And I love that quote that says, pressure makes diamonds. The more pressure, the more precious your time is going to be. Now we are supposed to go through the most, because obviously the hardest battles goes to the hardest soldiers. But I also, there will be fruit to all this work. There will be a reward for everything I'm doing. I might not see it now. Finally, with that job, there's a reason why things worked out that way. Funerango's picky says it. I said that same thing to my girlfriend. Now, we must not be in the disputation game. We must not dispute anything. When we do calculations, it's not going to work. Masinga forced. Because we are already going to be crippling ourselves. Let's not do that. I'm in a flow. That's why we have to be present. Can we do what we can do? Can't we? If it can be done, then we move on to the next thing. Relationship has taught me that everything you do in a relationship, it has to be about partnership. You can't just consider yourself. You have to also consider that other person as well. I am growing because of the person I am, and you are one of those people who's always admired and also is available to see that, hey, this guy, it's not just about him keeping this girl. Hey, this girl is treating this guy very good, and this guy is treating this girl very good. Because I said that to one of these guys. Do you know how hard it is to have a person fall for you these days? You don't know how hard that is, my brother. Je umntu ufuna wena and jonga ne-actions nazo zamalondo. I go with it. Because yinto zange ndayifumana elifini yam. I was so used to predictability. Now here comes this stability. And it's something I've never done. Like, this is the challenge I want. Get into the norm of doing the things that you've never done. I said, when you can't be loyal. I proved that to myself. That is who I'm trying to prove right. Me. Ndim ufuna uba right. When I learn all these things, there's something lovely I just saw this afternoon. A guy is teaching his girlfriend how to drive. You know how beautiful that is? I was like, hey, I see myself doing that in the future. When I teach my wife how to drive. The things that I would have loved to have my father teach me and other things. But you can't get it all.
Mm.
You can't. Zokhalaza kodwa tame ubukhona. I can't do that. You can't have it all. Khona lefuna ukuncishwe kuye.
Injalo futhi.
So ndathatha lena ndinike yona ndabulela, and then I moved on. That's the best thing I ever did. Each and every year after I had failed, I said, let me just get one big win every year. Grade 10, we changed subjects. That's the first win. Lanyaka already. Now I move from dismally failing a class to potentially being in the top 10. Jeng, a subject changes as he do. Take the load off. Susa umthwalo phezu kwakho. Take the load off. You are facing enye ngoku animal. I was mature that year, Tame. People were like, yo, failile. I'm here. Am I not? The problem is when we fail and we don't want to be seen. Nabuya pa full uniform, knowing full well ukuthi kwenzeke ntoni. That yabolo unyaka is gonna be different. Begged my aunt. Hayi makazi masambi. It went to a point where I didn't care where they broke njani ngonesihlangu. Sifuna ubapha. That is when the mentality started to change. Abanye abantu now they were surprised. Hey bo, the failure. Yeah, your words mean nothing to me. They say sticks and stones can break my bones, but words won't. You can't break me. It's just words. It's just words. Yeah, but while they're doing that, everybody is starting to be in tune with the new me. They're in denial. They're in tune because now what did I do? I started to accept where I came from.
Right, situation.
I started to accept the situation. I didn't say I was a failure. I happened to fail. There's a difference between being a failure and failing. You only become a failure if you stop. Did I stop? No. You can't be one of the most cleverest. No. Yabo, you are coming from a place of less knowledge. Little knowledge is dangerous. Kumntu ecawe lona Tame. Hey, that disappointed kanjani ngalanyaka. NguCindy lo. I hope you are listening to this, Cindy, wherever you are. No, was it East London, Eastern Cape. Chino Cindy. Hey, no bungcwele kanjani. Next thing I'm failing. Hey, I want the fucking interrogation room. That I. Sisi. Awundazi nondazi. Don't act concerned. And they understand ngoyena umuntu ongcwele onothixo, but hey, ufela kwami ngoyena waye confused. Like every day I have to avoid indawo naye Tamiya because uzanimisa nibuze lento kuthanda kwenzeke ntoni. Ngona hayi wena ubunibona nje and you admire. Ubona lanto umuntu ave ngawe anqwenela ukwazi. But then when I umnike opportunity, I was like, no, anothi ndiqala kabutsha.
Judgmental already. No. Because I thought ngumdo grand. Lanyaka na yo wanike opportunity ba give people a chance.
Yeah.
Because now ultimba ngam and what I went through imnike opportunity yoba makanixelele ba what she feels about it. At the end of the day, I was like, Cindy, you're not helping. Yes, Lord. Because I'm going to be born when the body language I'm every time to born. Like it changed. It really changed. But you are a devoted Christian and I was born alone. No, sis, man. And I avoid that. That year, I couldn't be around anything judgmental. Whereas after Lennon Suga, I'm already facing a situation where I have to fight to get here. Go a fighter, Genie. Dizo ngabantu bona abazixelelena ngalento abazixelele ngoyo that one side. Ndarongo, ndangabe wrong. I had to look out for me.
Yeah.
Dim ojongene neza situation. I was the one facing those situations.
So you must do what's best for you.
I must do what is best for me. Then I started to choose a different circle of friends. Lubabalo, Munganam. That is how I met him. But so I have to associate nabantu abahlala apha ndihlala khona. Bona le crew yamajita cooks. We're in the same grade as well. Abanye grade 12, grade 11. Ngasivan because talent is out. Next thing, I fit in like a glove. Now I'm around people who are accepting of this. I come to Kumbuzang about the failures and no one is trying to judge me. Everyone is commending the fact that, hey, I've become more disciplined, more respectful. I used to be a headless chicken running around. Hey, I'm in one place. Like, it's surprising. But the fact that the people I was around started to commend me, about that, it's also something, because that was jet fuel. Yeah, well, it's like that transition into being a new person. And then your environment starts to cooperate more like next thing now I start looking at tardiness. Yeah, I made sure go to 30 minutes or an hour before school starts and the time bus school, even if it means I have to catch the earlier train, bus, whatever in the Kula. Sometimes been Kweli train, but I was the first person to get there. People are hybo Kweli train Jan got to figure it like bruh. Yeah, Vogue. And Namaste, like I had teachers who used to commend me on that. But tardiness, being on time, you've already won the day. And after I left school, Nase calls Nase span, be way one. Get there an hour before, prepare for the day, make sure about your excel. I was a person who helped on making sure about Nandia's lung because the conditions ends as face and now Zulua's life. The only thing in Gwazi Yubanolwazinga is me. How can I be able to tackle the day? Yeah, we'll be next dog, figure late. And then they will ask, I botando when we next dog, to figure late every day when you figure up. No any problem. It's all about priorities. I already win the day by being there on time. It takes discipline, It took me a lot of discipline, but it also taught me that I can be able to put myself in line, which is many people can't be able to do that. You must be able to do that. Shrug off all the disrespect, all the judgment, and just move forward. Because I was like, Umagaz, make sure I get to school. Tenga la ticket. Some days Andigo, you scatter all the money, kweli pass. As long as we ileka. And Sutsuma zawufika nqoke ba zawufika big rate. Yayazi but if I get there break cookie feeding scheme. Diphuma apha ngicandanga nocanda. No food in my stomach but ndizixelela ndisaya because eyona nto ezandiphilisa kubapha not uhlala apha and contemplate yo aphela imini ubola uhlala efront bukele nazi ibus nihlika kula bus nam next day uphinde nihlika kula bus uyaske distance kwalapha main road good Steve biko drive ila walking distance not even a minute seconds nanzi public transport uyazifumana. These are defeating thoughts. Yabona utata omkhulu wami uJuni uzohlala belinxila njengabo. Phakama mfondini, akho umuntu ozakuphakamela.
Njalo.
Ekuphakameni kwami ke ndiyazikhupha kwezo situation because naye ngoku naye uyangoncedisa. My grandfather also helped me, man. Ngalawe politics, reading the newspaper, ehlalisa pha no 1 2 no 2. Manje sithi Mr. Ngonyana, what did you learn today? Master Ngonyana, yonke lando. That was the rebuilding phase because I used to remind my friends after that year about it. My grandfather. You should meet my grandfather, guys. Not see what he's doing because people see the person who drinks and
You still remember what I told you.
And I see a teacher there. I see a person who sees umzukulu wakhe, and not just umzukulu, but man. Master Nkonyana. I didn't even know I was a master, and this guy was calling me master. This is someone who failed grade 10. You are too smart to fail. What do you mean I'm too smart to fail? Do you know what I went through? Do you know my home situation? Alcohol abuse is real, man. Very real. And even though we don't understand how destructive it can be, it's ripping the black community in such a way that sometimes I even ask myself, is that all our people can do? Like drink their problems away? And they don't, and these problems they don't get drinked away. Instead, what do? They increase. It's like the more you sweep them under the carpet, a molehill starts to develop. And once Paramisa land, Lasand, you this is 10 because you've been sweeping things under the carpet. And 2022 and 2021 are the 2 years that taught me, hey, take care of your mental health. Because physically, you might fool people, but mentally, you can't fool yourself. That's the other thing I've seen. We act fine, yet we know you are not fine. You're not fine, brother. Sister, you are not fine. Start to find help. And you start by asking help from yourself. Hey, ndiyasokola ngale nto. How about ke ndiyohlala nobani? Ke ndive kuye. Bangaba abantu tamye ndirhalela nje ubapha ulwazi. Because nam ndiphiwe ulwazi. People must not think you are inherently born with this. You are also taught. I might talk, but I also have time where I listen. Someone is also teaching me, hey, slow down there. Entirely, we must have more role models for ourselves before we can be role models for these other kids. There are people who want to tell you what to do, what to say, and yet they've never been in that situation. We need to only take advice from people that have been through it. Have you been through it? Yes. Okay, I can listen. Have you been through it? No. You're just giving me your opinion. Next person. And it must get to a point where that is respected, so that these kids cannot be easily fooled. But is there an adult that is gonna raise the question in that kid? Have you ever seen this person going to work? Have you ever? Yet look at the car they are driving. Ubukelem, we have normalized it. Bawuphumelele ngobukelem ngoku. But ayisuka yompumelelo le. Asuka lo mali uyenzayo ngenyanga seyenza ngemini. Those are means for those who are already rotten to also make others rotten. And you start with them when they are young. Because ibhlungu lelo ndiyibonayo apha. This light is high school and this drugs ikuyo ngoku. Hey, we are funga.
Hey.
Kona yey. Ezinto sasingazibona izenza ngokwenziwa ngoku. Ngoku bakhwazana ngayo nasezitratweni. depression culture. And where is that depression culture going to take us? Nowhere. We need to deal with the problems, and the parents must be hard at home. Kukho abazali who are financing these kids' addiction. If you want to kill a snake, you must cut off its head. Because when the money dries up, where are they going to get everything? Now I blame lo uhlala naye apha endlini. How can you be with this child? Ungayazi uba what this child is up to. We notice a lot in the black community. Once umntana ngena high school, ayifuni thina ngoku. Umhlaba uzamoya. Thina sihoye aba baseCreech. Kanye.
Welcome to hell.
Yeah.
You get lost quickly there, bro. If you follow everything there, as you mentioned, that sometimes in these days, when I see people that used to work, go to work, see the guy smoking along the road, Shalom, you see, other one are going on Friday with a bottle of, what the fuck is bottle of? I said, why are they going to school in any? What's the use of wearing uniform? So that's a negligence. When they start to go to us, to parents start to, okay, Tibla, you're on your own now. You can do as much. You just
old
provide
enough.
the financial without knowing where that money is going. But every day you gave 100 rand. This is my child. I'm trying to keep down high on these schools. This is where the real problem starts. You neglect, shit happens. Smoke now.
Stealing everything in the house.
Worse now. 5 times worse now, bro. I'm telling you, I'm not lying. The things that I see. Few of those who go to the school, they go there, they want to be educated there at the school. Most of the people, they go there, they are cholwa, sochaya, ages, plezela nukene, toilet, sohlala, sibopha mazoli, siyateka noteka. So we go like a party when you go to school now in these days, instead of learning, getting educated.
Yeah, pora la uyesken.
Exactly. You come the weekend, you come on Friday, you come in from the weekend. Study kakhulu izolokotho esikoleni. Unepapalazi. Esikoleni sibiyade ngela, yeah man. So better noba zibhiye ezimbini. You still can't come back to the class. Yeah, sometimes I understand the teachers the way the problem was facing there. That's why sometimes you find other teachers, they get disturbed in their mind because they are dealing with certain people who are not.
And they're not trained to go to Madidishan and Hrutman. They're not trained, Ababandu. That's why they break down. You know, I feel sorry for the teachers of now and the struggle that they have to face. Yo, the kids, ngogo. Sure. Hey, even these good schools, ngogo, like Nobum Tumela, it's no guarantee.
And each other, it doesn't matter. You can change shop and change school, whatever you want, you can send. Even worse, you think you're doing the good thing, you throw the kid to boarding school.
Oh, accessibility galore. Sure.
What about that? It's just that you must sit with your child and explain this is how it's going on before it starts to go. Maybe the year before it's going to a high school. You know, maybe it's going to pass. You must sit down and tell it, this is what is going on. There you're going to face this and this and this. You take one kid, not that you're trying to be fine. You show an example of that kid. You say, look at this one. This one maybe is our neighbor, or you're staying in the same street. Look how it was before. Look at him now. Just look at him. Don't judge him. Look at him. You see the real thing when you're going there in front. What's really going on there? By saying something, sharing something to the kid before you go to high school, that thing is gonna, even if you don't listen to you now, but that thing along the line is gonna strike. If the problem strike there at the school, gonna say, hey, my parent
had told me this would have happened.
You're starting to face the real problem. That thing you ignored is gonna come back to haunt you again. Gonna strike back at you. But now you don't give money. Gonna start to steal around here.
Yay! Sure.
So just want to see that, raise that point, bro. That's a good point you raised, bro, in our school that is going on, bro. Let's start from there.
And even with the exportation of zonges, teachers now, they are basically being given jobs that they did not train for.
Sure.
These people are only there to teach these kids subjects, not to be their mothers, not to be their psychologists and so on. I've said this many times. Teachers are supposed to be the most well-paid people because they shape the futures of these kids. But they also need participation from home, the help. You see, when it comes to that bridging the gap, one thing I've noticed with kids that perform excellently at school is because there is a very good relationship between the parents, the school, and the child. The parents are very involved in how that child is moving in school. I would like to see that child who doesn't have a participant parent, whether they are poor or rich. But I've seen how impactful having that good influence, having that presence, having that guidance. All parents were once teenagers as well. Sit with your child. She's 14 now. My child, I was 14. Puberty hit. This hit. This is what I was faced with. This is what you need to also be aware of. But you find that even the parents are out of touch with reality. Why is not a good example? How are you going to be a good parent if you are not being the example? Obviously, these kids are going to be bound to do everything. And now what happens? The kids end up controlling the parents. Now it's a negotiation. The child must be begged so that they can go to school. They must be begged, but come end of the year, they want Jordans. They want the latest PlayStation. They want expensive this. And it's creating an entitlement culture. Look at all these kids that are on drugs now. Come from good homes. They were taught good. But bazixelele ba umthetho awunamsebenzi. Because all the people that are messed up in this world are lawless. Abanamthetho. They move njengohlobo bafuna umuva ngalo. What is that going to help us? It's not going to help anything. So now if it means I need to be the only person who like, no, ngamasimba lawo, then I will do that. People who older who continue to do, no man, you are killing that child when they are still young. Total opposite. We need to feed these kids the total opposite. So if I need to be the conversations guy, I'm gonna be. People must understand they're gonna hear this voice. And it's gonna be saying things that they don't want to hear. But at the end of the day, someone needs to say it. Someone needs to tell these kids, yo, bruh, this is your future that you are ruining. Can't be chasing getting high. Chasing the next high. 23 years old this year. He's gonna be 23 years old. That's my cousin. And you can't even sit down and have a decent conversation with him. About himself. He will tell you more about the outside. Some people are so good. Nothing that is in touch with him. You only see, oh, who and who is this? So I'll respect that person. Who and who is this? And this light still persists. You see, that made my blood boil. But I don't hit people. It made my blood boil. But you can get so comfortable in disrespecting an adult. No. Things don't happen that kind of way. So, since the world is misguided, we are trying to put some guidance in it. So we rather do it. We rather fix where it's broken. Because when we live with people who, it's like they love the dead so much that the moment you come then when you're all clean, they ask, why are you clean? Why are you so clean? Don't get used to the dead. And I also don't believe the pig is dirty. The pig is only like that because of the environment that it is put in. The same thing with black people. There's nothing wrong with black people. It's the environment that they are being put in. Take away all these temptations. Because you're not different from this time to the apartheid era time. When you go into the townships, all you see is just sheep beans. That is planned. The same way now in this century, 2023, you go into the township, all you just see is drug houses. Different forms of destruction. And then you still have parents who are absent. Like, no, the world will take care of my child. Then next thing, life upatali bills as a rehab. That you could have prevented by having a sit down, alamdan. Discipline that child. You say, okay, you're not doing this, I'm gonna take away all of this. But umntana akanamgqomo. That is one of the words my mom loves to say. Umntana akanamgqomo. Because I used to listen to my mom, Damea, talking about how she doesn't like how ichomi yakhe criticizes umntanakhe in public. Yes, you are angry at your child, but you don't do that. You don't criticize umntana ngolahlobo in public. Because at the end of the day, that is your child. And we are all going to answer to the Almighty, whether we like it or not. The Lord gives you opportunity to become a parent, and then all you do is suppress that child's freedom. Freedom of thought, of expression and everything. Doesn't that end up in resentment? That child is bound to resent you. And that is a question I always have each and every day. Am I doing things so that my child can love me? Because when you are protecting your child from that, you mentioned that earlier in the interview. Ufuna uba sesitratweni. By the time yakho ithi hayi sihamba ngolhlobo apha endlini awuzuyenza loo nto. Because if he allows that, now his authority has been broken. What are you teaching the others? It's not just your case as well. It's also about your siblings. But because you want to stay under his roof, you listen. Because you knew that was not going to fly kwenye ndawo. You're like, okay, go find yourself a place where you can make your own rules and live however you want. But under this house, you are going to live according to these rules. And those things, they help us. It helped a lot of people. All those people our parents were warning us about, where are they now? Where are they now? So umzali uyayazi, they know. But I still commend those who are still there, because Damea, you've been a parent. Some people think you become a parent by you giving birth. No, you don't become a parent because of that. Because we are taught in our culture, everyone is your parent. It takes a village to raise a child. And maybe sisekasi, you don't need to be in a village, but sonke sikhuliswe ngumntu walapha, some way or another. Khona wayesigcina, khona isithixo sasigcina kobani. We all have that relation. And iloo nto nami ndizama uphinde siyibuyise, where we can live in communities where we can trust ourselves, trust each other, trust that when umakhelwane gets an opportunity and we andazi mna I'm the best person who can do that job, akazu hesitate uzothi mamela, I know the perfect guy for this job. Not amengento uba rha ubani akanophangela kaloku, ingcono yonikwa omnye umntu apha endlini enze nto laa nto ayobhutyuza phaa ifront. It's time for people with good hearts to start winning now. Inhliziyo zimnyama apha phandle ziyawa manje. Because now as the man starts to know himself, he starts to become capable. He starts becoming open to realities that he thought were not there in the first place. These doors don't exist if I'm sitting with all these piece of shits who I used to call my best friend. They are piece of shit. Yes, sometimes I despise myself. Why did I even get to stay with those people in the first place? But then I know the Lord knew what he was doing. He knows even now. Sometimes I feel lonely, but this loneliness is one that I'd be willing to bear. And being in that destructive company. There's a time you woke me up about kukho abantu bevuka batya abantu, belala batya abantu. Ayikho enye into bayenzayo. Uphilwa nje ngowisa wena. Destroy. Seek and destroy. Uyakhangela, oh, you can't do. Cimiza uyaphi le nto. Ke ndithanda i-Almighty lena siyipraisayo wena Grootman, as I'm about to close it in the next 3. Imighty ibona yonke into. And zikhona ezinye indawo that we cannot intervene, that the divine only can be able to intervene. Because ezinye izinto human beings do not have the power to see. I'm going back to a movie I watched called The Matrix. The Oracle talks about you cannot be able to understand a decision that you cannot see. Then I also go back to the words of Yeshua in the Bible that says, it is done unto you as you believe. If you believe, then it will be done to you. Belief is the thing that took me to places I never thought I would be. It made me, first of all, leave the incompetent relationship, the toxic relationship, and everything that is going to anchor me back to what I'm not supposed to be, because I am cheating my future. If I keep on flirting with I'm cheating my future. I need to be in bed with my present, because in the present is where the future is created. This mountain is going to continue to be hard to climb, but we are climbers by nature. As you can hear, there are helicopters in the air, and we are closing off another lovely and beautiful episode. But take some time to be yourself. Try to find that thing that resonates to the core of your being. Who are you when you are alone? Namaste. As the maniac, I'm signing out. Thank you for your ears, your presence, as well as your everything. It takes courage to be you. Namaste and Shalom. Thank you yet again for tuning in for this lovely episode. Until next time.